Voici Jim Jarmusch et son movie qui fait muche.
Jim Jarmusch. If Jim Jarmusch had a movie to do about you, what would it show?
I would never do a movie about myself.
You were born in Akron, Ohio.
Yes.
You know Devo?
Yes.
You like them?
Yeah, although I haven't really listened to much of their recent stuff. Yeah, I used to like them a lot.
Are they specific of this town?
Yeah, in some ways, I guess. Although, you know, there are other musicians from Akron, too. Chrissie Hynde from The Pretenders and people from other bands in New York. So I guess rock and roll is just very important to all of us in Akron. It was maybe the only real outlet, you know. So some good musicians have come from Akron.
You played rock and roll when you were a kid?
No, not really. A little bit.
But you had a group called the Byzantines, no?
Yes.
What kind of music did you play?
Hard to describe. It was rock and roll. I don't really know how to categorize it. We always opened for a lot of bands from England in New York, like Echo and the Bunnymen, New Order, once for the Psychedelic Furs. I guess you put us somewhere, I don't know. It's very hard for me to categorize.
You already got those hair when you were a kid in Akron?
White hair?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my first ones when I was 14. Something in my mother, something genetics. I think she had completely white hair by the time she was 21 or something. I was a little slower, but my uncle, she has a twin brother, the same. He was like her white.
It was easy to work with Japanese producers?
Very easy. It was great because they said, we give you the money, you make the film. We don't want to tell you anything about how to make the film. And we don't even want to see it until it's finished. So it was really good. They just stayed away. They observed me working, but never made any comments on what I was doing. So for me, it was perfect.
Two of your three first movies, Done by Law and Stranger Than Paradise, are cult movies, and you are in Cannes considered like a wonder boy. But the last one, Mystery Train, wasn't that well received in Cannes last year. Why?
I mean, I don't mind bad reviews if they're intelligent. I like them much better than a good review that's not intelligent. But this year I was so busy in Cannes, I really didn't read them, and I'm not really sure. Myself, I like the film. I think it's a good step for me.
It's perfect.
But I'm not really sure. Maybe some people genuinely just didn't like the film, which is valid. Or maybe some people just thought I got too much good attention before and they thought it was time to.
How would you describe it if I were the production company?
It all takes place in Memphis. It takes place on the same night. And all of the characters end up in the same hotel on the same night, but none of them ever meet. But beyond that, it's difficult for me to describe.
Is it true that the idea of having three stories in the same movie was given to you by La Ronde, by Max Ophuls, which you see when you were living in France in '75?
It's partly true. When I was first writing the script for Mystery Train, and I was starting with the characters, not the story, there were two things that influenced me. One was a book by William Faulkner called The Wild Palms, which is a book where two separate stories are told with alternating chapters. They don't ever interconnect, and they're completely different, which I thought was a very beautiful form. And the other thing was I was looking at a lot of Max Ophuls films again, mostly because I was interested in his editing, kind of elegance to the way his films are constructed.
You have memories of that period?
Yeah, I have good memories. I had no money. I had lived in a one-room place with another friend of mine. But my best memories really are spending time at the Cinematheque and seeing movies, which is when I really decided that I wanted to make films. Before that, I was most interested in literature and wanted to be a writer, or hoped to be a writer.
What do you think of the US cinema today? How do you react in front of Hollywood?
The kind of movies I like tend to be from two extremes. I like B movies. I like cult movies. I like, you know, horror films and sci-fi films. And at the same time, I like films that are so-called more artistic. You know, I like films of Jean-Marie Straub and Jacques Rivette, for example. So I tend to like those two extremes, and what's in between them doesn't hold that much interest for me. And I hope my films have a kind of cross-influence of both those things. I'm not sure.
Your film is launched in Europe before the States.
Yes.
Don't you feel much more like a European director?
I feel like I'm in a very small boat somewhere in the middle of the Atlantic.
Give me a scoop. What will be your next movie?
It's a science fiction, Rastafarian, softcore western.
Et pour être sûr de ne rien rater de Inarditube, abonnez-vous et mettez un pouce bleu.